I know what I want to do. I know how I want to do it. Now, that being said, this is a collaborative effort now. I mean, I was taking input from John Morton that whole time and the other coaches. So, hey, man, what do you think here? Third down. All right, we get into this. 3rd and 7 plus, blah, 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 blah. All right, where are we at? Give me the. So, this is, man, this is all encompassing. You know, man, we all work together. Coaches did a hell of a job. But I just wanted to change it up a little bit. You know, let's just see if maybe a different play caller can maybe get us a little rhythm. That's all. And it honestly is nothing more than that. I know you're probably going to want to ask questions about, well, what about this, or I heard this. It's not that. This was a change. We made a change. It was good for today.
Elbow, forearm. He's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown. The flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Lions Hangover Podcast. I am your host, Brad. Was that cool? Probably not. I'll never do that again. Don't forget, you can find me on all social medias, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, please, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe and rate this show, preferably 5 stars. Leave a comment, leave a review, whatever you want to do. I appreciate all of it. But in the meantime, we are here to talk about Lions football, specifically the game that the Lions played yesterday in Landover, Maryland, against the Washington Commanders. Lions win 44-22. What a different game it was from a week ago. The offense looked completely balanced, I think is the right word. I was on TikTok after the first quarter. I was on the tickety talk. God damn it, I'm so obnoxious. And that was what I was saying, was it looks like they're already spreading the ball around. In previous games, it's like they would have Gibbs run the entire drive, and then they'd bring Montgomery in for an entire drive, and they would rotate it that way. They weren't doing any of that nonsense yesterday. They were running Gibbs. They would take him out. They would put Montgomery in. They would run Montgomery. There were so many targets for Jared Goff to throw to. Laporta had a catch. St. Brown had a catch. J-Mo had a catch. Gibbs had a catch. Montgomery had a catch. This was all in the first quarter. The offense looked as balanced as it has looked since Ben Johnson left, okay? And it's weird because you don't think the Lions have a powerful offense. The Lions have done great so far, but they've been inconsistent and they've been lopsided. They haven't been balanced. It's like it's been the Jahmyr Gibbs show, or it's been the Amon-Ra St. Brown show. I think even once it was the Sam Laporta show. And I think one time it was the J-Mo show. Instead, Washington was frustrated. They had no idea what to do. Everybody was getting the ball. It was getting spread out. Jahmyr Gibbs had a huge day. Montgomery had a solid day. I don't want to say great, but he did do good. Looking for him to return to the end zone, though. I even think Tesla got a target or two by the end of the game. Khalif Raymond had a fantastic day. Some injuries did occur. I know Terrion Arnold went out with a concussion, so we will have to see what his health is coming up for the next week. But overall, I thought the Lions' offense looked fantastic. Their defense looked steady. I believe Brian Branch had a couple of sacks. I know he had at least one, but I think he had two. I know we will get to the stats in a little bit. But what's the real story of the game? Why did they look so balanced? Well, you might have heard it at the top of the show. Dan Campbell was calling the plays, man. And they didn't really let that be known until later on in the game, like second, third quarter. They were talking about how Dan Campbell had the call sheet. And according to Dan Campbell, this is just something he wanted to do to switch it up. John Morton's job is not in any peril whatsoever, which is a little bit confusing because the last time Dan Campbell was calling plays, they fired the OC at the end of the season. If you remember, that was 2021, just before Ben Johnson officially took over. So, what does this mean going forward? Well, I see no reason to change it now, so I would look for Dan Campbell to call plays from here on out for the offense. I thought he did a fantastic job. It was like the old offense again. I believe, wasn't there a trick play? I don't remember anything too crazy, but it's like they just had their fire back. They were ready to go. I can't get over how balanced it was, and the Lions scored 44 points. That's pretty freaking amazing. Washington was completely frustrated. I know they had one guy ejected, and now he's suspended. I can't think of his name right now. I'll get to his name in a little bit, perhaps. It'll come to me. I know you guys know who I'm talking about. He's the gentleman that punched St. Brown. And why are you going to punch a guy wearing a helmet? You're just going to hurt your hand. I know you're frustrated, but why not just go for the push? You probably don't get suspended if you just go for like the two-arm shoulder push. But what an unbelievable game. It looked so easy scoring touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs' first touchdown was easy. J-Mo's touchdown was easy. I think Jahmyr Gibbs' third touchdown was incredibly easy as well. I want to say St. Brown's touchdown was easy, but he really had to fight for that end zone. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 freaking touchdowns. We definitely have some flowers for some people later on. I'm just trying to go over this all in my head real quick before I get to the game. The highlights, the flowers, before I get to all of that stuff. What else? Defensively, we did solid, okay? There was pressure on Mariota. Not as much pressure as I would prefer. I feel like he made some throws. He didn't have a horrible game. I was looking for him to get an interception. I did say Brian Branch had at least 1 sack. Pretty sure he had 2. I want to say 2, but I want to read it before I, commit to any stats. The things I'm concerned about, Washington was still able to throw the ball. The secondary did look a little bit weak. I know we're still missing Kirby Joseph. Terrion Arnold went out by the second half with his concussion. Nobody played horrible. That's not what I'm trying to say. But they were able to put 22 points up on you. At times, they were able to move the ball, and they moved it rather easily. So that's a little bit concerning for me. I still feel like Aleem McNeil, after his first game back, he's kind of disappeared. The defensive tackles in general, Tyleik Williams, DJ Reader, where are these guys at? Hutchinson was out there. I know he was almost, he might have got a hand on one of those Brian Branch sacks. And that's not to say that Hutch had a bad game at all. I'm just saying we're not getting the kind of pressure that I would prefer to get on the quarterbacks, and we're giving up a little bit more yardage running than I would like to. But overall, solid performance by the defense. I thought the offensive line played great. They rebounded nicely. I love some of the trickery, not necessarily a trick play, but I love that Dan Skipper was lined up in the out. Just get creative, man. Have fun with it. Just go back to basics, play football where you have a good time. And, it seemed like the Lions played relaxed. It seems like they played stress-free football, and it's like they just had a good time. They had a good time doing what the Lions do, and that's score touchdowns. So, tremendous effort. I'm really happy. Really happy. It was an impressive win. So let's just get into it then. Did I mention Dan Campbell's glasses? That seemed to be the story of the game. So with that, you guys have given me the confidence to bring back my glasses. I couldn't find my readers last night, and holy cow, I was blind as a bat, is what the kids say. let's do some flowers real first now that I have my glasses. Just overall accomplishments. Jared Goff has produced his 44th career 300-yard game. This ties Dan Marino and Drew Brees for the third most 300-yard games in any NFL that any NFL quarterback has produced. Why did they have to say NFL? Like, you just say quarterback. We know what we're talking about. Any NFL quarterback has produced through 10 career seasons. So congratulations, Jared Goff. This is also the 5th time in franchise history that the Lions have produced a road game with 500 total yards of offense, 40 points scored, and 5 or more touchdowns. So what, again, an amazing balanced game. The only quarterbacks in NFL history to complete at least 74% of their passes and produce 20 passing touchdowns and have 3 or fewer interceptions through the first 9 games of any season is Jared Goff and Drew Brees. Drew Brees did it in 2018. So way to go, Jared Goff. Played smart yesterday, unlike the last time the Lions played the Commanders where he had 3 interceptions. The 2025 Lions are also the first team in NFL history to produce 21 passing touchdowns, 13 rushing touchdowns, and 6 or fewer turnovers in the first 9 games of any season. So that's not too bad either, right? Okay, so let's get to the scoring summary, the game story, as I will. All right, so the Lions win the toss. They defer to receive in the second half, which I love. Also, something else that I love, the silver pants, the white jersey, silver pants. I hope to see the blue jersey, silver pants someday soon at Ford Field. But anyway, they kick the ball at the start of the game to Washington, and Washington goes a quick 3 and out. This means that the Lions waste no time as Jahmyr Gibbs caps off, a 10-play, 78-yard drive, taking 5 minutes off the clock with a 14-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff.
Goff on second down, over the middle, into the end zone. Touchdown, Jahmyr Gibbs.
There's Jahmyr Gibbs, and then he's just going to run an angle route on the linebacker. There's no help for him at all. Splits him easily. Jared Goff was salivating.
So special teams still needs some work. After the kickoff from Jake Bates, Ignabubogene has a huge return, and this sets up a 44-yard field goal by Gay, the Gay kicker. It was a Gay kick. It was a Gay field goal. But that's okay. That makes the score 7-3 in favor of the Lions. Lions get the ball again, and they score on a 9-play, 65-yard drive that takes 3 minutes and 49 seconds off. This is a Jared Goff pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Washington Commanders punt on their next drive. Lions on fire, score their 3rd consecutive touchdown on their 3rd consecutive drive. This time it's a 9-play drive for 87 yards, taking off 5 minutes, 11 seconds on the clock. It's a 13-yard touchdown for Jahmyr Gibbs. This is his 2nd of the day. They also go for a 2-point conversion, which is good. This makes the score 22-3. Washington Commanders come back with a 10-play drive of their own, chewing up 75 yards and 6 minutes off of the clock. It's a 1-yard touchdown run, no huddle shotgun, and it's Mr. Rodriguez. That's Rodriguez. Sorry. Lions get the ball again. They score. I believe they score on every single one of their drives that Dan Campbell was calling plays for. We're going to find that out in just a second, though. This one is a 13-play drive, 64 yards, 3 minutes and 28 seconds. It ends with a field goal from Jake Bates. It's a 22-yard field goal. This leaves only 11 seconds for Washington at the end of the half. So Lions start the second half by receiving the ball. This is a 5-play, 72-yard drive that takes off 2 minutes and 54 seconds. It is a 14-yard touchdown pass. Jared Goff to Mr. Jameson Williams.
Washington 14 on first down. Goff, Williams, he's been the main target during this series, and he is in for a Lions touchdown.
Just keep running it until they stop it. If they're not going to stop it, they're going to keep running it. different formation, same route, and look at the speed. As soon as he gets it, he turns on the burners, outruns everybody's able. Quan Martin.
That makes the score 32-10. Washington comes back on their next drive. They go for a 9-play, 69-yard drive, taking 5 minutes off of the clock. This one ends with a 4-yard touchdown pass to Mr. Deebo Samuel, who is sadly on my fantasy football team. Lions get the ball. They go 9 plays for 72 yards, 4 minutes, 35 seconds, and they end with a 28-yard field goal by Mr. Jake Bates. Washington gets the ball at the end of the third quarter, and they punt the ball away. Starting off the fourth quarter, the Lions have another touchdown. This time, this drive is 6 plays, 84 yards, takes 3 minutes off the clock. Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs, a 43-yard touchdown.
Commit to this running game between the tackles, which has opened up everything else. And Jahmyr Gibbs going for a touchdown.
Gibbs takes it all the way.
You have the unselfish blocking up front. Sam Laporta leading the way. Amon-Ra St. Brown. All these big-name guys that are supposed to get their touches and yards, etc., they are blocking selflessly for Jahmyr Gibbs.
That, of course, makes the score 41-16 if you're keeping track at home. Washington takes over. They go for an 11-play drive. They chew up 81 yards, 5 minutes, 53 seconds. This one ends with a 4-yard touchdown pass. And to Sanat. I almost just don't even try to attempt the names anymore. I'm just so horrible at it. Washington goes for the 2-point conversion. They do not get it. Lions get the ball back. 6 plays, 15 yards, 2 minutes and 23 seconds off of the clock. Jake Bates is good this time from 48 yards. Washington gets the ball back. They go 3 and out. This makes the score 44-22. That is the end of the game as the Lions go into victory formation. Now, let's go with the stats of the game, starting with the bad guys, as always. Marcus Mariota went 16-22 for 213 yards with 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks, and a quarterback rating of 133.3. See, he did not have a bad game, and that is something I'm a little bit worried about with the defensive secondary when you get a competent quarterback. Perhaps we face one next week in Philadelphia. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, he ran the ball 11 times for 30 yards. Jeremy McNichols ran the ball 5 times for 25 yards, and Mariota ran the ball 5 times for 22 yards. And Chris Rodriguez Jr. ran the ball 6 times for 16 yards, and he had that touchdown. Top 4, let's go with 4 receivers for the game. Treylon Burke caught the ball 3 times for 58 yards. Zach Ertz caught the ball 4 times for 54 yards. I thought he would have played a bigger role in the game, but he did not. Jalen Lane caught the ball 1 time for 41 yards, and Deebo Samuel caught the ball 4 times for 29 yards, and that touchdown. The other touchdown went to Ben Sanat. 2 T's at the end. That second T does a lot of work. Ben Sanat. Okay, now that we got it. Top 5 tacklers on the board. Mr. Bobby Wagner had 9 total tackles, 6 solo. Quan Martin had 9 tackles, 3 solo. Mike Sanistril, U of M, baby, 8 tackles, 3 solo. Jeremy Reeves, 7 tackles, 4 solo. And Preston Miller, 5 tackles. They had absolutely 0 sacks. Again, the offensive line looked much, much better this week against the Washington Commanders. Matt Gay did kick 1 for 1 on field goal for that 44-yard, and he was 1 for 1 on extra points. And Tress Way punted the ball 4 times for an average of 50 yards. He was inside the 20 twice. Now let's get to the heroes of the day. Jared Goff went 25 of 33 for 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 135.9. Jahmyr Gibbs ran the ball 15 times for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest was that 43-yard run at the end of the game. David Montgomery also got the ball equally 15 yards or 15 carries, 71 yards. Receivers, J-Mo led the day with 6 receptions for 119 yards, 1 touchdown. St. Brown, 5 catches, 58 yards. I really needed him to get 70. I would be a little bit richer today if he did. Who thinks St. Brown was not going to get 70 yards receiving? That was a solid bet. The Vegas knew. They're just ripping me off, man. Anyway, St. Brown, 5 catches, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Laporta had 5 catches for 53 yards. Khalif Raymond, 4 catches for 49 yards. Like I said, Khalif Raymond had a pretty solid day for Khalif Raymond. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 catches, 30 yards. Tesla did have a catch. He was only targeted 1 time. Okay, Tesla catch 1 time, 11 yards. Montgomery did have a catch, but he got 0 yards. So, all right, top 5 tacklers for the Lions. Jack Campbell, 9 tackles, 4 solo. Brian Branch, 7 tackles, 4 solo, 1.5 sack. That means the other sack goes to Roy Lopez, 5 tackles, 3 solo. Anzalone had 5 tackles, 3 solo, and a bonus. Thomas Harper, 6 tackles, 6 solo. So Thomas Harper, he knows how to tackle some guys. Hutchinson, man, not on the stat sheet at all. He did get a pass deflected. He was so close to getting that interception. I'm glad I just read that stat. So close to getting that interception. That would have been fantastic. Sione Vaki was back returning kicks today. He only returned 2, though, for 39 yards. His longest was 29 yards. Jake Bates went 3 for 3, with his longest being 48 yards, and he went 3 for 4 on extra points. That's right, he did miss the extra point. And Jack Fox, no stats today for Jack Fox because he did not punt at all. The Lions did not punt at all. Let's go to team stats. There's something pretty freaking amazing in this. The Lions had 30 first downs, 30. Compare that to Washington's 14 first downs. The Lions were moving the ball all day. They were 5 for 10 on third down. Washington was only 2 for 10 on third down. Lions also 2 for 2 on fourth down. Washington, however, was 3 for 3 on fourth down. Lions were 4 for 6 in the red zone. Washington, 3 for 3 in the red zone. Again, these are just little signs. It's like we still have to tighten this up. It was a great game. It was not a perfect game, and we do need to get better. The Lions, however, played disciplined football, which you knew they would. They were going to recover. Only 3 penalties for 1 yard. Washington, on the other hand, 8 penalties for 61 yards. I want to get that player's name. Where is he? It's not Percy Butler, is it? I don't think so. No, it can't be. All right. Well, you guys know who I'm talking about. The guy that was ejected. I was going to get his name. Von Miller is out there. He got 1 tackle. Von Miller for Washington. Good for Von. I hope he's having a good time in Washington. The crowd was mostly Lions fans there, which was pretty insane. 64,470 people watched the game in person. It was kind of a rainy day. I would say probably 30,000 of those was probably Lions fans based off of what I saw on TV. That wraps up this show, though, the post-game show. Don't forget, you can find me wherever you get your podcasts if you're only watching this. Yes, YouTube people, I also do another show, a pregame show, usually on Thursdays before the game. So make sure you check that out. Of course, the weeks where they have a Thursday game, I'll probably put out a preview show either Monday or Tuesday, just in time for you guys to listen to it. So that's it for me, though. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope everybody had a good time. And go Lions, man. Hell of a game, and we look forward to that. They play Philadelphia next week, Sunday Night Football, so that's going to be like at 8 o'clock, 8:20, whatever they do. At least it'll be on Peacock. So I like Tirico. Tirico's good with me. So, all right, I'll see everybody later. Okay, peace out.